Midnight versus EG, and Midnight coming off so hot of a 3-0 on Optic. They have to be feeling really great for this. But at the same time, EG doesn't have a sub, so...
Yeah, I mean, EG is definitely a solid team, right? One of the more consistent teams, top 8 at Vegas. You know, they went 5-1 at the POQ, and they made their way here, locked their spot in early. Like, this is a great team. But Midnight, what I saw from them yesterday, I know Optic had a sub. Midnight looks incredible. If they play like that, I think that they'll beat most of the teams in this division. Like, the ceiling is so high right now for Midnight. I don't know how good they potentially can be yet. I'm just excited to see them play against EG. Like, if they beat them, it's like they're proven. More proven than they were even beating the team with a sub.
When I was talking to Parzillion yesterday, it was just like, I was like, yo, Par, like, how you feel going into that match? He was like, I felt really confident, really, really confident. I was like, I could tell because I was watching Gun Crim across the map. He's like, yeah, that was easy work. I was like, okay, all right.
Wait, you guys are friends like that? You're calling him Par? You got nicknames?
I like to make nicknames. Yo, Par, what's up, man?
Well, and Envoy also was extremely excited about that. After that win over Optic, he took to Twitter and was so excited. And we're going to bring that up in just a moment. But to see that kind of thrill and hype from someone, it feels so good to see that new talent coming into the league.
Purple Storm, that's what that was, right? Like, that was just a 3-0 perfect storm, I would call it. Like, they obliterated Optic. There's matches are not supposed to be that fast in the Pro League. Like, that was some impressive gameplay from every single player on this team. When you win like that, you know how confident you get, like, as a player. You go into the next match like, we're not going to lose. We just beat the best team in the game. Fried them. We're not going to lose a match.
It's most of their first league too, right? So they just have that extra adrenaline, that extra fire coming in the league, as opposed to like some of the pro teams that you guys are used to seeing, who are just like, this is just what they do. These guys are here fresh. They're here fresh, and they're just ready to play it, and it's exciting to watch a new team in the league for sure.
But Study, Evil Geniuses are a very practiced team, so Midnight certainly can't underestimate them.
Oh yeah, 100%. They got the GOAT Revan. Revan is able to like just break it all down, as you can see. Like, he has to be the GOAT. But I don't know. It's just like, Halafellow, Goonjar, Exotic, these are all players that have just been doing it for a really, really long time. Fell short a couple times, but I feel like since they're here now, they got something to prove, and they're just gonna handle business.
For me, it's the performance of Facento. Like, at the end of the PLQ, he was going off. Like, he was going crazy. He switched from an ICR early in the game to the SOG role, and it really seemed to benefit him. If he can perform like that in the hard points, like we've seen in the past where his teams have struggled in hard points, but he was going crazy in hard point at the POQ. If he can keep that up in the league, I think EG's just going to be one of the top teams here.
Yeah, EG's one of those teams where, like, they make you beat them. Like, they're not going to make too many mistakes in any game mode. Like, that's how Facento is with his teams. Like, he really tries to make sure they're making the right plays on the map. And, you know, having Revan as well, like, any mistakes they make, they're going to iron them out and fix them after they lose it. So this is a team, like, if Midnight comes out and just tries to gun their way to the win, like, if they're not winning every gunfight, they're not going to win. So you got to make the right plays. You got to play smart. I think we'll learn a lot about Midnight and their knowledge about the game in this series.
We will, and as we said yesterday, they said in the interview, they did a lot of research on Optic. You can assume they did a lot here on Evil Geniuses. We'll see how that plays out. But we did just see Genji repeat history, 3-1 Red Reserve for the third time. But coming up next, we have Midnight versus Evil Geniuses.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of the Call of Duty Pro League. Up next on main stage, it's Midnight versus Evil Geniuses. Benson joined by Chance for this one. And I'm excited for this game. The desk obviously talked a little bit, Chance, about, all right, well, is Midnight really the real deal? We got a first look at EG as well in the league. It's going to be an exciting one.
It's the litmus test, right? Like, yes, Midnight looked great against Optic. Obviously, Optic playing with the sub. How much can you really learn from that? It's very, very tough. But for both teams, fantastic job in the Pro League. How good are they really? Are they going to dabble in that top 12 range? Can they crack the top 8? Is Midnight or EG, one of them good enough to break the top 4? Like some of these teams,
maybe.
In Midnight I'm looking at especially so. We really don't know how good they are yet. We're going to learn as time goes on. So agreed, Ben. Agreed with the desk. We are going to learn a ton. We're going to find out exactly how good these guys are.
Well, here's a quick glance at our series layout. Frequency, hardpoint, frequency, search, Arsenal, control. If we do go further, Seaside, hardpoint, and a game 5, Arsenal, search, and destroy. Obviously, you heard the desk specifically study talking a little bit about EG's coach. We know him very well here at MRG. Revan, of course, taking that coaching role, and you only have to see any of the small snippets, the small clips that you've seen. He takes his job very seriously, Chance.
Absolutely. So a lot of teams, what they do is, hey, you know, the night after, let's go back, rewatch VODs, watch VODs of the other team to prepare, maybe write down some opening strats, what they like to do in search and destroy. But there'll be teams that when they go on S&E, they'll be like, all right, Envoy likes to rap mid, yada, 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 and they just keep that in the back of their minds. Revan won't do that. Revan will know this is exactly what they're going to do, and here's exactly how we counter it. So it's not just having awareness of the other team. It is having a game plan for every situation, for every single team, for every map. Everything is going to be thought through.
And one of the new additions, of course, for this season was the addition of that coaching headset between maps and whatnot, and there you see Revan utilizing it straight off the bat. I think it was the PLQ. It was funny. He was borrowing players' headsets to try and make points as much as he possibly could. Now he has one of his own. And you saw him there with this tablet, just trying to go over exactly what they need to do heading into this. And Revan, one thing I will say is he's not going to take Midnight lightly whatsoever. I think he's coming in saying, all right, it's probably going to be the hardest game we're going to play.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't do that, not after what you've seen in the Pro League or the Pro League qualifier, not after what you saw yesterday. On the flip side, though, got to give some love to Atura as well. He's a guy that has been around for years, at least since Advanced Warfare, if not before. He's teamed with some of the guys on Midnight in the past, I think Llama and Envoy and Parzilian included. He's been around, he knows the team, he knows the players, and it's incredibly difficult to evaluate how much of a factor he is for the team's success, but they're undefeated on land, so he's got to be doing something.
He's doing something well, right? He's doing something very well. They've played 7 series, and they've won 7 series. And one interesting stat that we'll bring up, Game 3, Control, they are unbeaten. They are 7-0 in that game type as well, with some pretty big heavy-hitting teams that they beat.
And you got to keep in mind, the heavy-hitting teams at the Pro League qualifier, they were in the pool. 5 of the 7 teams made it to the Pro League, so it's not like they had an easy one. And on the flip side, EG, I think it was only 2 teams that came out, or 3 teams from their group ended up making Pro League. So 3 versus 5. I'm just saying, if that's what you want to look at it. And they also lost. They lost to Mind Freak, who, granted, Mind Freak was a very talented team, but didn't qualify, not in that top 16 range, and they were able to take EG down. So if you're just trying to look at the numbers and who you think you expect to win, you would have to at least lean Midnight. Even if it's only 60-40, you got to lean their way.
Yeah, you have to. The respect has most definitely been earned by this Midnight squad. Now, though, can they put that down as a result on paper, which is obviously what counts the most? A 2-0 start in 2 games would be wonderful for them. Of course, this is the first time we're seeing EG here at the league. And you talk about EG's year as a whole. We go back to Vegas. I remember day 1 we were looking at each other saying, oh, wow, this EG squad, fantastic. Then they went on to not win a series, so they got knocked out of that one rather quickly. PLQ, much more consistent performances, which was what they needed. Now, I'm curious to see what they've worked on between that time and obviously their first series here.
And the most interesting thing about the EG roster is the roster swap that they made. Like, they had an inconsistent Vegas. They ended up top 8, looks pretty good, but then they dropped Saints. But one of the wins they had at Vegas was they did beat LG, who got that top 4 spot, which is a huge win to get under your belt. But what you lose when you drop Saints and pick up Ascento is we thought at least was going to be that slaying power, because Vicento had a very terrible Vegas, as the entire G2 team did at the event. But then turns out, bounce back to Pro League qualifier, Vicento played out of his mind.
Right.
So maybe he won't be a drop-off, but he has to keep up that level of performance. So sometimes you look at the guys that put up the big numbers, and that would be like royalty for the side of EG.
Right.
I'm looking at Vicento. Does he play well? He's that X factor for the squad.
I mean, historically, you talk about his career a little bit for Vicento, at least, and he's never been known as that Slayer. You know, he has that kind of nickname, Mr. 2, 3, and 5, for that exact reason. He's never put up massive digits. Always surrounded himself with players who could do just that. Go back to AW days when TR, you had a player like Aqua that surrounded him, and you could just rely on that player being the heavy hitter. But to your point, Chance, at the PLQ, you got that type of performance, which we're just not used to seeing. And I guess the question that you rightfully ask is, how often are we going to see that Vicento?
I mean, because the role swap, I think, was definitely a factor. Maybe playing with a team where maybe you're more comfortable around him. So who knows what it was? Who knows if it can last? But the man went from like a 0.79 to like a 1.12, which 1.12 isn't completely absurd, but it's still really damn good.
And it's the improvement jump as well.
Yeah, the improvement, it was the biggest change we have seen by far for any player. So if he maintains that level of play, EG absolutely be one of the top teams in this division. But we got to see it.
Yep, and they have to go through Midnight first, which is not going to be easy. It looks like this is going to be a full-on reset as everyone there from Midnight flies off the map. So ignore everything you just witnessed there. But again, to reiterate that, map number 1. Any thoughts about the hard points potentially if we do see 2 here in this series, Chance?
Well, I think you kind of brought it up earlier, Mr. 235, right? So again, we need him to put up the slang numbers. And if you look across the board at their game modes and how well they are on each map, pretty even. Like outside of the control, like EG is even good at control, but not as good as being undefeated. But they're very close in comparison, at least from what we saw in the PLQ, which makes sense because that's when the roster is formed.
Sure.
But again, you got to bring it back to, well, what was the level of competition that they played? Midnight, you have to make the argument, just because they had 5 teams that made the Pro League, played more difficult competition, and still put up slightly better numbers because of it. But the way I see it is EG is going to need to win the Search and Destroys to win this series.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily in a game 5, but they have to win that game number 2, or else I just think it's bad news, because the control is going to be incredibly difficult. The hard points aren't going to be easy, so you're looking to split the hard points, hope you win the game. Like literally,
they have to win a game 2, and then they have to win a game 4. Or a game one. Or a game 1. So you're splitting a hard point. I mean, maybe they come out and they win both hard points. We could be extremely surprised. But, you know, with how Midnight played yesterday against Optic Gaming, yes, Optic had a sub, but in reality, they still came out and performed very, very well. And that is exactly why a lot of opinions, I feel, have changed when we talk about this Midnight squad. Oh, they're a PLQ team. They're not going to be able to do it in the league. Well, we got to the league, and, well, so far, so good.
And it is interesting as well, because you go against Optic, obviously biggest organization in Call of Duty. Most eyes are going to be watching. Do you get a little bit nervous? Obviously, playing with a sub makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But even still, it can't be fun. And these are a bunch of new faces that we're seeing, and they dealt with it incredibly well. Of course, though, off the rip, maybe EG did incredibly well. Brazilian, though, inside the hill. Him and Brack fall, and there you go. EG with the clean break.
That fellow flies through, able to get that shot punch. EG with control of the early hill, so plenty of time, and maybe a little too early to know, but Gunjar is working a little bit towards his first streak. We probably not expect to see him secure it. As the challenge comes from mid-map, he will fall. Hill still contested, though, as Parzilian with the shot.
There's some guys that like to rock the Mozu in the back pocket. Some people even do that with the SOG.
But falls, again, still heavily contested.
And something you see a lot with this is hill where I think it's great. You know you're going to be taking 2-3 gunfights at the same time. You need something in the back pocket because you are never going to have time to reload. E.g., they had at least 2 Mozus, if not more, ready to go. They win that first hill. They win the rotation. Everything right now going well for the Geniuses.
This definitely is. Trophy system down in the hill. Spawns in their favor. A nice early lead. It'd be great if someone was going to be able to get some streaks, though. See if they could try and secure this early lead. 150 away is Exotic. Unfortunately, he's going to be shot from the side. Brack, the important kill there from him. As Vicento, he gets himself a double. He's now 150 away, still inside the hill. Can he try and lock the streaks down? Llama's going to be one shot. Even EKA at this point would be perfect as Vicento slides straight out, looking for 2. Not going to find anything. Again, Midnight shut down streaks.
It does the damage. Vicento might fall, but gets them at least both weak. They're not going to be able to rush into challenge. EG playing just perfectly. Final time goes to them. They're going to have, what, an 80-point lead going into the next? Yeah. And they have plenty of time to go and make this break. They can go and set it up however they want. You can already see they're spawning them out.
Yeah, and it's those kills in transition there from that P2 to P3, which are massive. Because if you do pick them up, guess where Midnight's going to spawn? Out. As you saw, one player is Parzilian, spawning behind the current hill. Luckily for him, 2 EG players did fall relatively quickly after that, so they both spawn out as well. So Midnight can maybe just take a bit of a breath here, say, all right, just bring ourselves back into this one slowly. Do not let EG run away with it.
Absolutely. And of course, on the flip side, we did see yesterday against Optic. Optic had the lead on that map one against Midnight pretty much the entire time. Eventually, they just flipped that switch. 2 players get fully streaked out, and the game just started to go their way. So EG put the pedal to the metal. Just go all in, and obviously that's what you're going to be trying to do anyway, but you're exactly right. Midnight, very solid job of bouncing back. Still with that pistol in the back pocket, Vicento doing a little bit of damage. But it doesn't quite look like it's enough damage to break on through. EG going to take one more crack at the hill. Player gets caught out, and just like that, one good hill, Midnight right back in this game.
Quick glance at the stat lines from both of our 2 teams. For Midnight, everyone about even or +1, +-. On the other side, though, for EG, Exotic at 11 and 7. Everyone else about even. For Sento, obviously, we talked a little bit about his slaying, 6 and 5 currently, but does have, I believe, 50 seconds of hill time. He's working towards over a minute in the first rotation alone.
I mean, if you want to get points on the board, might as well sit in the hill. The more you do, the more points you get, so you're going to be happy with it. But again, EG right now, full control. They've got everything pushed out. Goonjar putting in some work with the beatdown as well. Single-handedly, essentially locking down one side. He got players pushed out mid-map. That's Exotic who picks up a 2-piece of his own. So you just have players all over the map just handling it by themselves. There's players right now for EG just hanging out. It's like, guys, there's nothing for me to do. You see Gently gets broken through, but that's where the reinforcement comes in. You reflood the hill, and you should be good for the break. But it does come down to a 1v1, which again, Goonjar on a 4 spree comes out on top.
And 225 away from streaks, another big win from Llama. Of course, he did have the Tempest, doesn't want to invest it there with the hill being so close to finishing. As now it's Exotic, rotated, waiting for the next heal to come through. Unfortunately, went for the challenge, and Envoy will find the pick. Now, chaos ensues. Jet Li does have the grab slam. Is it going to be invested? Yes, it is. Just 1 to his name. It was Goon that fell, but Midnight able to just try and retake some control. But as I say that, Royalty flies in. He finds one, and we had an interesting conversation about Royalty before that. It was about his sensitivity. He's often been known as a player who will play on a ridiculously high sense, and we kind of had that discussion. Well, he's kind of brought it down a little bit. Plus, the added kind of option, I guess, in this game of being able to reduce your ADS sensitivity. I feel like that makes him even scarier, Chance.
It's a ton of players are bumping up the numbers instead of playing on 6 or 7s, going up to 11s, 12s, playing on a much higher pace. And of course, the SOG players, that's going to be even more beneficial for them. So always got to keep an eye on that. But something EG did on this hill, which I really appreciated, Exotic went ahead and burned the War Machine. Even though they had control of the hill, you get the specialist before the other team because you're doing well. That's how you pour it on. Just use them. If you get them early, just use them, let them ride. And again, just run the score up as much as possible because you get a 100-point lead. You're feeling incredibly comfortable.
And you also have Royalty working towards streaks with a grab slam. The EKA comes in there, slams straight in. Lightning at least would have loved a little bit more, but able to find one. The Annihilator now out for Fellow. Player's shoulder peaks. This could do a ton of damage here. He was able to find the players pushing through, but we've seen a lot of whiffed Annihilators so far at the Pro League, and there's some more for you.
It really has been tough. It's so strange. Like, people were scared of it at Vegas, but then obviously the Tempest gets nerfed. People want to try it out a little bit more, maybe get rid of the Vision Pulse, but a little bit of a struggle so far, but I'm sure there will definitely be some highlight reels later. I will say that was the Annihilator burn. You saw the gravity spikes get used to essentially no avail. So Midnight will be happy with that. But at the same time, another benefit of EG using them early, they're probably going to get it again.
Yeah. And the big question is, depending on how long Midnight wait to use theirs, there could be a situation where EG get them again and Midnight don't, which is very, very scary if you're a Midnight Esports fan out there. As it stands, hardpoint about to rotate. EG 160, Midnight 105. Small lead earned, and it is worth mentioning again, Royalty has earned the Lightning Strike as he once again moves over towards the hill, looking for potentially more kills as he tries to cover a window. Brack with the out strafe. He finds one. War Machine invested, as is the Annihilator. Needs to hit the shots from Parzilian. Well, he hit him.
I mean, they were saying last night, what was it? Joe and Maven talking about Parzilian just winning 1v1 gunfights consistently against Crim6 of all people. So you got to imagine with the Annihilator, might be able to hit some nice shots, misses a couple, but again, these are tough to hit. And keep in mind, his team's just in the hill, gets another kill on the head glitch, clears out the back spawns, which they should figure out soon. They go for the rotations. Brack sits inside the hill to get these final points. And again, they were down by 100 points. They are down but not out, finding ways to just try to creep back into this game.
They need to be careful though. Royalty with that lightning strike. Even a ping, if nothing else, could force Midnight to just reposition, force them out of this new hill. Jet Li ready and waiting. And there it is. You can already just tell by the look on the minimap. They're waiting for the pinch to come through. The lightning strike is going to be called in. EG now swarm. They pinch into the hill. They have Midnight exactly where they want them. And that was such a well-executed streak. Yes, the lightning only finds 1 kill, but everything else works out perfectly there for EG.
It literally could not have been done better. The timing was perfect. The communication was perfect. You even got trophy systems getting kills for Goonjar. What more could you ask for? Maybe a hold. A hold would have been nice because you see Midnight just comes and storms right back through. And again, they've been dealt a pretty difficult hand. EG has been playing incredibly well, but still just kind of hanging around. It's a 30-point game, Ben, and it's been wild. If Brack is doing things like that, it might be an interesting few next hills.
And that's the point, right? As impressive as it's been from EG, it's still such a close game, and that's what makes it so very scary. The final 5 seconds, good for EG. Now we go to our rotation.
And now you got Lamagat with the Tempest, and Jet Li's creeping up on that Gravity Slam as well, which he probably won't get for this hill, but maybe to break on the next. And Lama's actually going to invest it here. And his team actually has a pinch going on, which means I don't think anybody's going to peek him. They're just going to end up coming past. Feels the pressure, has the stun, gets the hipfire connect. Still player alive in the hill, should be cleaned up. Lamagat falls, but that should be the clearance for Midnight to break on through. Still, though, down by about 60 points.
And the important thing here for Midnight is going to be controlling the spawns going into the second hill here of rotation number 3. They haven't been able to do it in the first. They didn't do it in the second. And because of that, EG have really been allowed to apply the pressure as Goon falls. Still hill contested. 25 seconds. Clock slowly but surely starts to tick down. Plenty of time left in this game, though. There's Goon with 1. Goon looking for the second. EG still focusing so heavily now on the spawns. 2 players have spawned out, though. Lamagod's going to notice that 3 players spawn out. This is the chance for Midnight to come back into the game.
It's Goonjar and Royalty in the back, and Envoy finds 1, but Royalty is hiding. The question is, Midnight, this is a veteran-type play. Can he keep track of the players? No, they cannot. He gets a player shot in the back, but he challenges. Envoy rips him. Exotic, though, does get the spawn. Barzilian hunts him down, and that's the break. They win the rotation battles. They're in the hill, and Jet Li still has that Gravity Slam if he needs to use it up front.
Yeah, this could be the comeback right here for Midnight. Just holding this hill alone brings them back, and then ideally you want a full 60 hold without investing in special so you can use it there to break the next rotation, but in flies Jet Li, forced to use the grab time. Can he find the second? No, he can't. Trades come through. EG still fighting from the front. 221, 186, 30 seconds left, and bear in mind, Brack, out of all of this commotion, has found himself full streak.
I was going to say, call it in. You have to right away. You are 30 points away from losing this game. You still need 50 to win. You got to win the rotation, and a drone squad might help. The sniper's nest might help, and the question is, do they even shoot it down? Do they have time to switch, or do they just try to hide it out? I see number 9 trying to go for it, and it looks like he might be trying to snipe for it.
And again,
got to do it sooner rather than later.
Lightning strike called in, so you know exactly where EG is going to be. You have them trapped like rats as Brack turns around. He gets 1. The pressure now in the spawns coming through. You have a war machine as well to use. EG desperately trying to fight from the front, but in flies Midnight. They've broken through once again.
This is it. This is the comeback. They were down by 100 points, and now for the first time in the game, I think they have the lead. War Machine coming out the back, but the Black Jacket's there, but doesn't help. No, Barzilian's going to take him down. Brack up front. The Drone Squad with the help. Needs to connect with the kills. Can't find it. Drone Squad not there, but Barzilian is. He gets taken out by Facento. Chaos in the hill. The subs reign supreme in Midnight with the first hold, but EG, they do have the back spawn.
They got to go, though. 10 seconds. You've got to contest the hill. Lamagod pre-aiming. The pinch is going to come for EG. 1 falls, 2 fall, 3 fall, 4 fall. Facento drops. The final player challenges for EG. Brack finds the pick, and Midnight, who were down for about 95% of map number 1, string together a perfect rotation from P1 to P2, then again to P3, and steal the game from Evil Genius's grasp.
Ben, if you're not a believer in Midnight,
oh, you better get on that. You better get on the hype train.
What more do you need to see? Undefeated in control, haven't lost. You hand them diversity, down by 100 points for pretty much the first, 6-7 minutes of the game?
Yeah.
Down but not out. They slowly made the comeback. And was there ever a point in that game where you just thought it was over, where you had it in the bag?
No.
Not a single time. Down by 100, and I'm like, hey, string together 1 or 2 good hills to be back in. They're good. They're unbelievably good. They really are.
You wanted to see Evil Geniuses really just try and choke out that map and just just claim it, right? You have a 100-point lead. You should be able to, at that point, just close it out. But the way that Brack out of nowhere, he gets himself some streaks. You see some
same thing against Optic.
Exactly. He's so good at that. Just kind of behind the scenes a little bit, but overall, wonderful map number 1.
It is outstanding stuff, and if you want to hear more from the players, I think we have a hit with Jess on the floor. Talk to Parzelian.
Thanks, Chance. That's right. I did catch up with Parzelian, and, I asked how he was feeling about this matchup. He said, after yesterday, great. And he was, of course, referring to yesterday's 3-0 over Optic Gaming. And he did actually admit to me that he was a little bit surprised by that win, but, a win is a win. When I asked about if there's anything in particular that they've been doing to prepare for the Pro League, he gave props to their coach, Ricky, saying that he's been helping out a ton and just really helping them know their stuff. Now, over on the side of EG, I caught up with their coach, Revan, and before I actually had a chance to talk to him, as soon as I walked up to EG, Facento goes, we saw Midnight 3-0 Optic yesterday. So even though, in talking to Revan about that, Revan said, oh yeah, no, of course that didn't shake our confidence at all. We still feel good and everything. But the fact that Facento did point that out immediately is very slightly telling to me. But Revan also did say, we're doing our homework. He goes, let me put it to you this way, Jess. You could say I have a 10-page document for every single team on the Pro League. So they've definitely done their research. We'll see how the rest of the series shakes out. Back over to the casters.
Obviously, you hear Revan say a 10-page document. It's probably more than 10. I'm going to be honest with you. With the extensive research I know he can go to, it's probably a lot more, which is kind of scary to think. But you saw him there talking to the squad. I mean, after a loss like that, you're in the driver's seat. He must have been sat watching the game, smiling, thinking, yep, here we go. That unbeaten team, we got him. We got it right where they... Wait, what just happened? Just letting it slip right from their grasp.
I mean, you got to think of the outside hill. Like, they call in the lightning strike. They do it perfectly, get the break, and then, like, 10 seconds later, Midnight's just back in. And there's just some moments where, like, I don't even know what happens. It's just, like, it's magical at points. They just make it work, and now you go into map 2, and I mean, you might go up if you're EG, 4-1 in round counts. You ever feel secure? Like, you're always got to be concerned. And yes, Revan has that 10-page document, but again, sometimes, like, you might know what's coming, but sometimes if players are just doing some wild stuff on the map, like, it cannot be easy to deal with.
Yeah, very difficult to read. And obviously, we talked a little bit about hardpoint. We'll talk now a bit more about the search and destroy. We do head towards a frequency, but me and you, we casted Midnight a lot at the PLQ. We got to see a lot of cool little strats that they were able to do across all different game modes. We've casted EG a fair amount of time so far this year. So I guess predictions heading into this search and destroy. How do you see this frequency going?
I think this one is, if I was going to pick a map that EG, I'm like, yes, they have the advantage. It would have to be the search and destroy.
Okay.
So if I'm looking at any players specifically, definitely got to be Royalty for the side of EG. And on the flip side, I'm actually looking at Jet Li. I know Envoy gets a lot of love for good reason. I know Brack has been playing very, very well, but in Search and Destroy, Jet Li's got my attention. So on frequency, we'll see if any crazy SOG plays can come out from either of those players.
Okay, well, loading into map number 2.
Yes.
Already a very good map 1. Midnight, of course, take it, and they have the advantage in the series. First time we've seen EG here at the Pro League in 2019. Midnight with a very good win late last night against Optic Gaming. First time many of those guys have even been in the Pro League, so they're going to be full of confidence now, though. Can they find a 2-0 lead against Evil Geniuses? Round number 1 underway.
On with the aggression. Flood through A, get control. Brack is going to have multiple players shoulder peeking the exact same time. He spotted at least 3. I'm assuming you might know 4. But they have complete control. Facento already overlooking mid-map. Runs out of bullets, but Felony does get that first blood. Huge advantage to EG.
Yeah, massive. Now a 2-man advantage, 5 versus 3. Ready and waiting for the Jet Li push, 5 versus 2. A very impressive round number 1. It seemed like EG, they had their game plan and they executed flawlessly. No one dies for EG, a perfect round.
Most simple thing you'll ever see. You put the ICR up in the top window. You make sure to shoulder peek from you at the same time. Nobody's at plat. You got Brack in the back. He's not getting these kills. If he tries, we'll kill him. And then Goonjar probably makes the best play. Him and Vicento overlooking mid-map, and then he knows after I get the kill, my job is done. I got Vicento to watch mid for me. The only thing I have to be concerned about is my own flank. Because even if they go all the way around, then I can re-pinch the pinch, and he'll be good to go. So as perfect as a round as you will probably ever see in the CWL.
We wanted to see how much knowledge EG had over Midnight. It's something that we talk a lot about, you know, players watching FOD. Impressive round number 1. Can they manage to spiral out of control? Royalty with the sniper rifle here in round 2. Llama, be careful. Peek for an extra second, you may fall, but Llama's going to get the information of the sniper, and he's going to wisely back down.
To be honest, I hate this sight. There's nothing wrong with
the
it.
noise.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is perfectly legitimate to use. It's just a personal thing with snipers. I'm default like all the way, essentially. But either way, they saw the sniper.
Sniping days.
Yes. They see the sniper. They run away. They rotate. EG are waiting for it.
And they most definitely are in Envoy now. Just trying to get behind
they don't
enemy
know.
lines, and he's a slippery little fish. Finds Exotic 5v4. Man advantage Midnight, knows the rotation's going to come through. He's just making it look so simple.
Oh my God, he's got 2 more players to deal with, but he has a concussion to make it work. And that's kill number 3. He's going to kill the entire lobby. Okay, finally they take him down, shut down the streaks, which is nice, but Envoy, because that is the correct way to pronounce the name. We have so learned, Envoy, not Envoy. Makes the play, they eventually win the round, and yesterday when they played against Optic, I was listening to the comms from Optic during the Search and Destroy, and they said quite a few times, Envoy, late flank mid-map. It is a completely different map. What happens that round? Late flanks mid-map, and just perfectly sneaks through. The guy window never spotted him out. Gets the freest first kill and has to make the plays after that. So impressive stuff, and apparently just watch him flank mid repeatedly.
Just stare at mid-map and you'll kill him, right? It seems to be the only way, because you almost managed to find all 5 there. Close to the 4th, and if he gets the 4th one, you put your money on him finding all 5. But nice round from Midnight. Just again, to keep pressure over onto EG, tie things up 1-1 as EG back on the attack.
I mean, it seems like if you're playing against Felony, like the mid-map counter would be there, but I don't know, maybe players have potentially met their match. Barzilian does not connect with the first shot.
Also doesn't have the sight on, so I'm sure you approve a little more.
Again, obviously he didn't get the kill, so it's not a huge difference maker at all. Just, again, slight personal preference, but the B site has been cleared out by EG, but the bomb is not there. There'll be a moment before they wrap back, and the sniper does have the help. Envoy down to 4 HP, but that's all he needs. Jet Li cleans up Vicento. Those 2 players push from EG, got control, but it turns out we're just by themselves.
Brack didn't even heal. It just adds insult to injury to that whole fight. Didn't even heal. Knew the push was coming. Had some support over the top as well, but finds the pick, and Midnight had a very comfortable round, almost as perfect as round number 1 was for EG.
And that literally just comes down to that very first gunfight. If Envoy loses that, Barzilian has to take a 2v1, and he only has the sniper in hand, because I think Jet Li would have been a little bit behind, but again, just that bullet is the difference maker. Brack gets away with 3 HP. They'll take it.
Yep. Advantage Midnight in the search. Can they give themselves a 2-round cushion now, though, at 2-1? Still waiting for a bit of a bounce back here from EG. They're on defenses. Royalty will have the sniper rifle as he pushes down to look over towards the B site. Is the push going to come through? Well, he's going to spot at least 1. Misses the shot, but the pressure is already there. Luckily, the trades come through. Advantage EG.
And I think he actually connected with a shot on Lamagod as well. Got took down to 10 health, so hit markers are never fun to deal with, but Felony, well, he's going to get a couple hit markers with the Maddox, enough for the kill. Lamagod gets the trade, and honestly, there's a gunfight mid-map. It looks like Jet Li and Goonjar kind of snuck past each other. Could have been an opportunity for Midnight to find a kill, but it's a 2v3. You got bombed down right on site. EG are going to watch the flank, never move. And honestly, that might be just, it's tough to deal with.
It's almost impossible. 3 players over towards the B site, bomb down. You can watch every angle you need to. There should realistically be no way Midnight win this round. Royalty watching, spots 1, tagged up, has to back away, has a stun to use as well if he wants. Might try and save it, of course, for the next round as he wisely tries to back away, flying through his Jet Li. Llama, a 1v3. As we said, almost an impossible task ahead of them, and that is exactly why EG structured play, not making mistakes in that situation.
Yeah, the only way you win a 2v3 like that with the bomb down is if EG just does something absurd. If Royalty challenges, over commits for the snipe, if when the player slides out, if you don't go for the trades, whatever it's going to be. But we've seen before EG, a team that their play calling is going to be very consistent. They're not going to make too many mistakes. They are well coached. These guys have been around forever. And that is a round they will rarely fall from.
Good response from Evil Geniuses. 2-2. Tie things up. And EG now, of course, it's their turn to go back onto the attacking side and go back to what worked so successfully in round number 1. Fly over towards the A side. This time the Brack has repositioned. He's going to be on the bomb. He finds first blood. Can he find more? He actually gets a double, so trades his life out and more. Advantage Midnight.
You pick up 1 kill there, your job's done. You get 2. This is cherry on top. Midnight has now swarmed over They got complete control, and something you can see Jet Li doing, he's not overcommitting. He's the guy that essentially might have had to deal with 3 players if he tries to flank, but he plays it as safe as possible because his teammates weren't there yet, which is the right play. At the same time, though, B's cleared out. EG does not want to plant. They're going for the wrap, and now it's going to be Parzilian by himself. And again, you can't overcommit here. I think he senses the pressure. If not, the concussion's going to help, but he does have help with Envoy. It is 2 players right here. Parzilian wins the first, and now that might just be all over. Goonjar's one shot tries to run away, but time is ticking down. You got Jet Li on the flip side of the map, and you still have a man disadvantage for EG.
And Parzilian gets a little blessed there because the stun didn't connect with him. It connected with his teammate, and it almost baited EG into thinking, we have him stunned, fly at him. So a little bit of lady luck on their side as Jet Li finds the double down towards the site. Another round 1 for Midnight.
And again, just neither team making mistakes. It's almost come down to just who makes the first blood, who makes the big play. In that round, it was Brack. Brack picks up 2 on bomb. He plays a different angle, and we've seen, Tommy, for example, for Reciprocity, played on the bomb site before, but he had a guy sitting on plat over him. Brack's by himself, so it's a suicide mission. If players are going to come to you, you know it's going to be the whole team.
Yeah.
But because when people peek outer, they're looking for that outside lane. They're not looking on bomb. It takes longer. Players just have to line up, run right in front, and just made sure to pre-fire and get the kills.
Royalty once again with a sniper rifle. He's in his bottom much. Meanwhile, stun goes out on the map. Jet Li with an assist, but a team kill comes through all the commotion, so it will settle at a 3 versus 3. Shots going down. Exotic finds Envoy. He also finds himself Brack, and in the blink of an eye, it's now Parzilian for the 1 versus 3 clutch.
As Exotic might just end up shooting in the back or the front. Exotic will do it whatever direction he needs.
Or not at all.
Parzilian gets the kill, though.
Two as well.
And he knows he's there, goes for the pre-fire. He's got plenty of time to make this happen. I think we've seen 2 1v3s this year, and we will not see a third, at least not this round, but he made it interesting.
Sure did. For a moment there was a little bit of belief. Wanted to get out of view as quickly as possible, partly due to the fact he has an ICR. 2 players with assault rush him, he's dead. So trying to reposition, but EG recognizing the weakness of the weaponry, fly straight at him and find the kill.
And I think the biggest thing there was actually the stun that EG used mid-map. It slows them all down. It ruins their opening break. Now it causes the confusion. The team kill's unfortunate. But you get stunned and you're going so much slower, you're not expecting that player to come through you that quickly. Because you're used to the timing being an extra 2 seconds behind. And obviously Exotic takes the advantage with the timing, makes the big play.
Parzilian, his turn to snipe over towards B. What's he going to spot? Goonjar jiggle. He can do it one more time. I dare you. You get away with it once. Okay. Twice, you're pushing yourself. 3 times, you're asking for it. Almost hit another. But advantage Midnight. Bomb does go down. How is the retake going to come through? Is it going to be Parzilian again with the opening? Fellow pushes it wide to the right. Mozu is out. Meanwhile, Envoy's made his way over towards the site. 3 fall. Beautiful retake here from Midnight.
Yeah, EG is having a ton of problems trying to watch over mid. Royalty does beam a player. It should not make a difference. Please, someone kill him. There's 3 of you. But again, it's like the second or third time we've seen that bomb work over towards B, and eventually someone from Midnight just comes through mid-map, whether it's from down low, up top, but they just find that hole somewhere in EG's setup, and they continually punish them for it. Albeit, even with that happening, still just a 1-round game.
Research. Obviously, we praised both coaches heavily before the series. If you have a good kind of insight into how teams rotate around the map on certain maps specifically, you can try and get that timing, maybe turn what could be a bit of, COD timing into something a bit more favorable on your side. As Jet Li does, of course, have the Graph Slam. Nothing over at you just yet. Right. Looking to maybe look back towards mid-maps if he gives a bit of support, but it's for Sento that is behind enemy lines already.
Sento has the opportunity to make a play. I think he's spot players out. He does get that first kill, and now this is a problem for, well, everyone. Sento's going to have a couple players to deal with. I think he knows he needs to stay alive. 24 he gets away with for the moment. Jet Li cleans them up, and the rest of EG is passive. But Vicento does burn quite a bit of time off the clock. Caused a little bit of chaos, but Felony by himself right now just pushed a little bit too aggressively. If he wins the first gunfight, he would have gotten traded anyway. Now Royalty in the back with a snipe doesn't connect, and a round just falling apart 1 by 1. An attempt is maybe to make something happen. The chain actually connects on 2. He knows it, but can he even get there in time? It's a tough spot.
Very tough. You have at least 1 kill on a plate. Finds it. 2v3. Pre-firing bottom middle. Exotic now trying to push forward. Brack connects with a stun. Exotic falls, as will Goon. It's inevitable. 25 seconds left. somehow makes it a 1v2, scrambles away with his life. Thought for a minute he may go for a little bit of a journey off the map there, but no, not gonna happen. Goon's still doing well at staying alive, but the reality of the situation is there's no win condition for this round. Brack, he's scrambled away to the back of the map, and this round is over. Goon finally jumps off. We were waiting for a bit of a round cushion to come through. This is the biggest of the game so far at Advantage Midnight.
I will say I think the problem that round was players just overcommitting, challenging gunfights, or not challenging gunfights, but being more aggressive when they didn't have the information necessary. But as a side note, I think laying down is super underrated in this game. Like going prone, because drop shotting is almost non-existent completely. And we've seen Brack, what, twice now with low health, just laying down, and it's just, it doesn't happen often enough that I think there's situations where it's applicable. So I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever. I just think it's a little more valuable than it has been in the past.
As Brack 150 away from streaks, may not even need them. If Midnight can close out this round, stun comes through, Llama. Well, what are you going to be able to do? Backs away, of course, does have a 10%. Oh, there's royalties actually gone past him. Grab slam out from Jet Li. Love the changing of positioning there from Brack and Jet Li. Advantage heavily now for Midnight. It's a 2-man advantage. Royalty falls, Goonjar falls. 1v5. Doesn't even matter. Midnight cruise through the search and destroy. I'll be honest, Chance, it was close at first, but the last 3 rounds, not close at all.
And we just saw strats that work for Midnight. EG tried to do. Midnight has the answer. We saw strats that have failed for multiple teams. They used the gravity slam to make it work. I'm telling you, man, Midnight is a well thought out team, a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, most definitely are. Started off their Pro League campaign, of course, with a 3-0 victory over Optic Gaming late last night. Now, in their second series, they find themselves 2-0 up against Evil Geniuses. And the problem, if you're an EG fan, is you're now heading to a game mode which they simply haven't lost. Midnight Esports up 2-0 against Evil Geniuses. Second game of the day on the main stage. And if you're a Midnight fan, you probably have a big old grin on your face right now. Why is that? Because you're heading over to Control, where Midnight is 7-0 in this game mode since forming.
They might have lost like in a scrim. I'd have to imagine at some point in a scrim they lost to somebody. Maybe not.
Best
but like
control
you
team,
gotta learn something. They gotta like 100 Thieves, man. 100 Thieves, disgusting. Actually, they are pretty good Control. There's a lot of really good Control teams out there, but only one is undefeated. And they did play Optic, but with a sub. We have a lot of Call of Duty left to play. It is day number 2 of the Pro League, but you're exactly right. It is their best game mode. Yeah. They're undefeated in series count, undefeated at Control. They're 2-0 up in the series. What more could you want?
I guess on the flip side, Evil Geniuses in Control. How you think they kind of fare out in that game mode specifically from everything we've seen? For almost every team in this division, if you ask me that question, I'd be like, EG played pretty well at the PLQ. Some of the better slaying teams, I maybe have lower expectations for what they'd be able to bring to the table. Like Red Reserve, I would favor slightly over EG. Sure.
But Midnight's undefeated. Like I've seen no reason for anything other than I expect Midnight to win this game. Even what they did to Optic yesterday. Granted, again, you have to reiterate, yes, they had a sub. That is not the real Optic that we're going to be seeing in the future, not the Optic we saw in Vegas. But they didn't just beat them. Like, they dominated them. Like, you could say whatever you want, but it was still a very impressive performance.
Yeah, it wasn't close at all. I guess obviously we talked a little bit about teams that could potentially have trick strats. Revan definitely the type of coach that could try and develop something with his players. And let me tell you, if you do have something, you got to use it against them.
On Arsenal, though, more creativity you're always going to see on offense, right? On defense, it's more reactionary because you have to respond to the other team, right? Yeah. The problem is on offense, well, both sides are pretty close to each other. You got Lavi that connects you from one to the other. You're there in 3 seconds. You're there in 5 seconds off spawn. So maybe he has something crazy. I would love to see it. I just can't imagine what it would really be.
5-man vent push.
Well, see, that's where we get too far. If we had 12, maybe, but we don't have that. So that would be too absurd. If you ever see more than 2 players on the same team invent at the same time, something's probably going wrong. 2 is fine. 2 is fine in certain
That's where you draw the line?
3 is like, oh no.
Okay.
Unless they're streaks.
We'll see. We'll see. As it stands, though, Midnight 2-0 up in the series. Everything going according to plan for them.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be the chickens.
The chickens.
He's going to all 5 players going to be putting chickens all over the map, like giving away positions to bait players out of vents. That's the next level strat.
That's the genius. Use the chicken as bait. Wow.
Or just get fully streaked out and then just easily win the round.
That works as well.
That helps.
But I prefer our strat, the chicken strat.
Yes. Well, that's how you get the streaks. Yeah.
You use the chickens to bait out and get the like where we're going with this. There, of course, a glance at EG. The communication seems very intense. That's for sure from Facento, trying to lead.
I'm just going to roll back to this because I think it's hilarious. There was discussion on Twitter about whether or not we could ever pull comms from like when the coaches are talking in between just to get a little bit of that extra depth we hear. We cut into Revan. Chickens, guys. Chickens everywhere. That'd be amazing.
Stop. Well, game 3 about to get underway. Arsenal Control. And again, the storyline coming into game 3. Midnight, they've not lost a Control. They're 7-0 man with this game mode. And boy, oh boy, do they make it look easy. That's for sure. Evil Genius is going to have their work cut out. And honestly, if they do win this, they're going to know that they're unbeaten as well. Could give them some confidence to try and pull themselves back into this series. Because if you think about the game 1, EG controlled it for 95%. 95% of that game, EG was in the lead. Did you ever think they'd close it out? Maybe not. But still, they had that control. They had moments where they could have stumped out like that.
I mean, I think it was literally Midnight scored like the first 2 points, and then they got outscored like 70-2, and they didn't have the lead until like the final 30 point. Like, it was absurd, completely absurd off the rip though. Unfortunately, a team kill comes in, but EG still get that man count advantage, which all of a sudden just goes away because of the team kill. So yeah, Midnight, slightly decent opening break.
Yep. It's now 8 already with a tick into it. Mozu challenge comes through. Llama looking to try and trade out. Jet Li still inside the zone, so 1.5 ticks, 25-25, and Cento.
Oh, baby.
That's going to be a rough one. We'll try and delete that from the VOD so your teammates don't have to see it. 4 players go down. B already pressure, and this is what makes Midnight just so good.
Already there. Take on A is coming through. I think EG is probably just going to chalk it up, but I don't even know if that's necessarily a good decision because it's only one player over there. Now you're dealing with the whole team. And
that was so
you got to do
smart.
something. Finally, EG does break through, though.
That was so smart. Lammergod, who was the player solo capping, pushed through the hill to watch the lobby cut, found a freebie, a complete free kill, and I'm pretty sure that actually assisted Jet Li in getting his streak. So heads up stuff coming out from Midnight. Many times that you see a player just say, nah, I'm just going to cap it. I'm just going to secure this round.
And not only that, now you got the lightning strike to work with. You get everybody set up. Envoy waiting in lobby, one player waiting on the other side of the map. His teammates get near him, probably calling the lightning strike, or just catch a player off guard if you need to. Clear them all out. It's a call. And his teammates have still not moved. His entire team doing the right thing. That's as good as it gets for communication. That is well coordinated. You find one, a team kill comes in a little bit, but that's the break. They're on through. They're in the hill. They're racking it up. And Envoy did not die mid-map. Now you got to deal with him, but you got to get in the hill. You got to deal with ICRs. Power positions galore. Midnight with the perfect setup, the perfect streak, the perfect communication. And that kill feed, nothing but that nice white.
You forgot the last thing.
Killing everybody?
Perfect gameplay.
Perfect gameplay. That was perfect.
Absolutely perfect. Everything they wanted to achieve in that first round, successful.
And the best part about that is you can go over time and time again exactly how you want to use streaks, but to have the communication of, oh, Royalty's pushed up on this like P1, whatever you want to call that first bush, kill him first, because he can be a problem.
Sure.
They knew he was there, they knew he was by himself, so they hunted that player out specifically while setting up that play. So it's not just that the play is incredible to watch, it's that they even go that extra little step to make sure that they get exactly what they want.
Yep, they get the setup and then they execute it flawlessly. And they will take a pretty convincing round number one. Now, I guess the question that we're all wondering, will we see the five-man vent chicken push from EG?
I hope not.
I really want to see it. I would just cry laughing. Cry. It's not going to happen, sadly. Sadly, but we can dream. Streaks, though. Brack, 250 away, defending B. EG want to push it straight off the rip, and Brack finds one. Brack almost went for the instant challenge. Parzilian, he's got some streaks of his own as he just pulls out the Mozu and evaporates Exalted. Oh.
That's new.
You don't say.
It's like reminiscent of, oh God, there's like a spot on London Docks where there's like a random wall that you could shoot through. That was very similar. I will say the opening break EG had was actually pretty smart. They basically got free A control. They sent 2 lives away to make sure they got it, and then none of it matters because Midnight just storms back through. That's ridiculous.
Parzilian finds himself 125 away from streaks, as was Envoy. Envoy falls. Lammergod playing sneaky inside vent, and that's why it can be so sneaky. Now draws attention across to him, allows his teammates to try and find a bit of crossfire. 125 again away from streaks is Parzilian. Keep that in the back of your minds. A challenge comes through, teammate cleans him up. EKAs will do here. Goon is left, last man alive. He falls now. Parzilian rotates over towards middle. They have every part of the map covered.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, this makes me really annoyed that Optic couldn't play with Dashy, because I really want to know, like Midnight, I just want to see him play everybody.
Yep.
Because like, obviously they're legit, like an insanely good team. I want to know where it stops. I want to know what their wall is.
Is there a wall?
There's a green. It's a green wall, right? Or
yeah,
like against United, LG, like I don't know when these guys play LG, if it's this week or not, but again, it's just everything's good right now. I want to see how far it goes.
You have to ride that wave as far as you can, that's for sure. As Llama has secured a lightning strike. Pings it, calls it in. That's going to secure B, but there's no one over at B anyway, so drops it mid-map. Fellow falls. 0.1 second. And Chance, this is a bloodbath.
Hey, they're getting throttled. Like, teams need to be taking notes, like, honestly.
Not even close. And EG, I mean, what do you do? What do you do heading into round 3? Say it.
Chicken! No, nothing. I mean, regain. Like, they're not out of this yet. Again, they're very good players on EG. They had, top 8 at Vegas, much higher than the guys on Midnight Place. I think 3 of them were top 24. The other 2 were like top 40. So, I mean, if you look at that, you got to imagine you have some sort of advantage there. You have an advantage in experience, certainly. So, down 2 rounds.
Advantages, though?
Streaks help. Look, I'm not saying it's a good spot at all. I'm just saying, like, we've seen crazier things,
well,
maybe?
You're going to see more streaks. Yep. 50 points.
2 team kills.
Well, that's fine. Just letting them know he has it. He's a nice guy, Sam Boy. as he tries to back away. 50 points, just trapped between a rock and a hard place. He's still alive. If he gets streaks after all of this, it'll be a miracle. The drone squad is just following him around. They knew there was a player right there. He's still alive. A player flanks. He turns around, and, well, there's another streak for you. If Midnight didn't have enough utility on the map, well, they do now. Streaks galore.
Streaks galore. Everyone from EG is inside, though. They got the man advantage. Midnight is pushed completely back in their base. One player might sneak through, but he's going to get hunted down. Fellow finds him, so it doesn't matter if it's streaks. If everyone's inside, you're stuck in your base. This is an incredibly good round for EG, and now you got to imagine 26 seconds on the clock. You got to build some streaks of your own. Get towards the specialists, like keep him trapped, but it looks like Midnight eventually able to break through. And honestly, even though EG had a great start, this round's not over for the flip side because now the streaks actually do come into play.
Yep, there's one. Envoy looks up towards the lobby, needs to be careful of Vent. Trades through, grab slam available. Jet Li somehow stays alive. Meanwhile, a flank comes through. Parzilian reach out. He still has a Hellstorm missile. B is now being capped. 12.4 seconds on the clock. Is Jet Li going to go for the grab slam inside lobby? If he hears the door open, he may well just go for it.
Don't want to get baited by it, though. He sees the players. He's got the information. You don't want to burn it. You get secure. But now he's got players inside. He's looking for the first. Might just grab slam a second. Tries to do it with the gun. Facento takes him down. And over at B, that final tick has not come in. Brack staying alive has players in front of him because Barzilian was there for the trade. So eventually, they do not secure. Brack gets taken down. 10 seconds left.
The stun comes out. You have to at least contest. There's the contest. There's the grab slam. Is that now going to be the final nail in the B zone? Envoy has to be careful. One more challenge comes through. He does secure it. Facento a little out of position now for a rotation to come through. That's going to be traded out. More streaks. That's going to be used to spawn kill if nothing else. An 8-6 life advantage for Midnight as they try and close this out 3-0. 3 players full. Royalty has a grab slam. He needs to invest. He's not even going to be able to do so. Now Parzilian able to push through with the Annihilator. EG, we'll see you later.
I mean, that was like the streaks definitely helped, but EG, they as good of a break as you could possibly have. Didn't matter a single bit. Midnight running them over.
3-0 in the control. 3-0 in the series.
Undefeated on land.
Undefeated. Undefeated in control. Undefeated in series as well. This Midnight squad, to Chance's point, just how high is their ceiling? When you see them play against, you know, to your call, the likes of LG, I guess we'll get an answer to that. But so far, so good. Unbeaten here in the Pro League, unbeaten on LAN, unbeaten in control, and that's exactly why the way they play that game mode is just so nice to watch.
And it's good. And so, like, teams that we're really excited to watch, like, obviously the top teams in the game, you always want to watch the top 4. We haven't seen, you know, United, LG, Splice. You always want to watch those guys.
Of course.
Huge, like, Heretics. Hey, great. Spanish team in the scene. Midnight, dude. They're like my new favorite team to watch, I think. Like, they're in that conversation because they're just unreal. Everything is going well. Decisions are great. The play calls are great. The adjustments are amazing. Like, everything's going well. They're a fun team to watch, and I'm very happy they're in the Pro League.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So far, so good for them. Of course, for EG, not the perfect start that they would want. Of course, they now find themselves 0-1, but still a lot of Call of Duty to be played for them. And for the rest of the day, still 2 more games to come up. But before that, I'm going to send it down for our PlayStation Instant Reaction. Jess is with Jet Li.
Thanks, Ben. Well, you guys have come in and taken 3-0s for your first 2 matches here in the Pro League. How does that feel?
It just feels so real. The fact that we're this good, and it just makes me, it's just surprising. It's surprising because we're just all have been like underrated since the past 2 years, and it's really humbling to see us come this far and progress that fast.
And you said something to me yesterday, the same thing. You said you felt that you guys were being underestimated as a team. What effect does people underestimating you have on you guys as far as the way you play?
Just experience, and teams don't expect us to have that much of slaying power. So when pros come into the match, you know, a bunch of AMs, you know, just like, you know, like they don't expect us to like really get all the kills and just slay the whole map. Like, no teams expect that from us.
So you also, I'm sorry, not you, Parzilian had mentioned that Ricky is helping you guys out. Can you talk a little bit more about how it is to have such a strong coach on your team?
Yeah, Ricky is an amazing guy. He's the coach that he just brings good vibes, good energy. He does his homework as needed. He makes sure our vetoes are on point. You know, he's just a really good coach all around and a good person.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. We'll be right back after this quick break.
The Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL. Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the CWL. And Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
Keep a little cozy corner in your heart for me.
Midnight is the freight train that cannot be stopped. PLQ 2 Pro League, they are now 8-0, undefeated. Your desk is back. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Pac-Man, and Study, and this has just been a steamroll.
They're disgusting.
Midnight Gaming is the best team in the division.
What the hell is Brack?
This train has no brakes. They are just cruising.
That's godlike.
That first map, I was like, okay, Midnight's human. They're about to lose. 180 to 120, right? EG, surely they're going to close this one out. What do you know? The game gets close. Brack picks up streaks out of nowhere, calls it his drone squad. They close out the game, and then it's like, oh my God, they're going to do it again. Next two maps, dominant. Midnight is absolutely filthy.
To me, that's the most impressive thing is that when the adversity hit, they stayed strong, and they brought that game back. Like, they're a legitimate threat in this league.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely are.
At this point, I heard Jet Li say they're underrated. If you are still underrating them, if you don't take them seriously, what are you doing?
No, everybody's going to take them seriously now.
They're no longer underrated.
They should have been taken seriously after they went 6-0 on the PLQ. I mean, they beat Optic with a sub, and it's like, okay, so there's just a bunch of question marks on them still. But this match right here, what they just did to a consistent team, that is proof.
to Nameless's point, Study, the fact that we kind of all keep being like, okay, well, maybe EG, maybe Optic, maybe someone, and they're just like, nope, nope, nope.
It's because it's all players that we know. We've been playing against them for years.
Right.
We know what they bring to the table, but these guys are just bringing something completely different. I've never seen this. Going to a PLQ 6-0.
It's not missing.
This reminds me of the original E United squad when Gunless, RCs, Pristini, they first came onto the scene. Like, where at some point you just have to be like, all right, these guys are nasty.
Llama's 18-5, dude.
Like these guys are just really good at this game. These guys are nasty. I mean,
it's hard to beat a team when they're not missing, right? Like, I kept talking to Pac, we were talking during the game. I was like, man, they're just running through them. Like, everything's going right for them. They're set up. They're getting all their kills. And you just look at me, you're like, dude, they're not missing. How do you beat a team that doesn't miss? And it's every time, and they're in those, 1v1 scenarios. They pull out the gunfight win. And, like, right here, like, how do you beat this guy? He's just flying around the Annihilator, hitting every shot. It's tough, right? And I think it's just a testament to their teamwork and individual skill.
And it's like, yeah, we were like, okay, Envoy. And then the next time we're like, Brack, Barzilian. In that game, Llama guy was like 18-4 or something like that. Like, they're spreading the wealth.
Every player has had their moment.
This is a good team, top to bottom.
The Purple Storm got to be something serious. I can't believe it. I'm sitting there just losing, like, just lost for words. Completely lost for words. I'm expecting a lot better out of these teams that they're playing, but Midnight is just amazing. And it's just as simple as that. They're amazing.
And what they're doing is they're 3-0ing people, right? Like, they're beating them and they're destroying them. They're not even losing maps. So, if this team continues to get better, they're absolutely a threat for the title.
Well, I wouldn't want to play him right now. My God. But
Katie, you wouldn't want to play anyway.
That's true. That's true. I would not.